I feel like I'm in the fourth quarter of a bowl game right now. A minute left against Boston College. My coach is screaming at me from the sidelines, telling me that we got to get pressure on the quarterback or we're done. In the back of my head, though, I know that my father's in the stands, his arms crossed just as much into the game as I am, just as he's probably focusing right now, making sure I deliver this all right. Then I have my mother, who surprisingly is still sitting in the stands, because usually she's walking around the stadium because she's too nervous to watch. I would like to first thank the faculty and staff at Chippewa Valley for asking me to speak here today. I would also like to put in a special thanks to Mr. Carr for always being there for me through my recruiting process in high school, as he reignited my interest in naval aviation and the idea of going to a service academy. It is a great honor to be speaking for my alma mater in the class of 2008. Although I'm still young at the age of 21, I thought I was all grown up by the time I left Chippewa. As upper class members, I'm sure you all can relate. You are older, wiser, and more mature than when you first walked into Chippewa's doors on your first day of class freshman year. You can't wait to leave your parents, to move in with your friends, to really start enjoying college life. But little did I know that Chippewa was simply preparing me for the next level, and that I would do a majority of my growing up in my first year of college. I don't know if you can call it college, but with thanks to Chippewa and my family, I was able to take all the skills I learned over the years to brave the world alone for the first time, 600 miles away from everything I knew, and experiencing something I could never prepare myself for, and that was military life, military training at the academy. What helped me adapt to the academy life were the similarities it had with Chippewa. For example, the security at the academy. At the Naval Academy, our campus is called the Yard. The Yard is surrounded by wire fences and is guarded by enlisted personnel asking for identification every time you enter the gates. Much like having your ID scanned as you enter Chippewa, and having the 007 agents, aka the hall monitors, walking around with walkie-talkies asking why you aren't in class. Or how I noticed that there are numerous Randy Jarmegas posing as officers at the academy, all of which remind you over and over that democracy is never really an option with them. Sometimes half of me thinks that Coach Jarmega is the reason why I attended the academy with his numerous general patent talks, which I hear over and over in my head. Then the other half of me may think that Mr. Barnes, roaming the hallways in his marine attire and yardstick, pretending to be at war, may have been the reason why I decided to go to the academy. Simplify, Mr. Barnes. Hoorah. It may have all sank in and turned me into the military man I am now. Then you have the meticulous teachers, like Mrs. Zinn, where no matter if you got the right answer, if the work wasn't there to show it, it was marked wrong, period. However, her teaching instilled a discipline in my work to do everything thoroughly, as the academy stresses attention to detail. One who was hard to compare to at the academy is Teacher of the Year, Mr. Murphy. Murph is one of those teachers, mentors, coaches, who was always smiling, encouraging, wishing everyone well. During my freshman year at Chippewa, I had to follow in the footsteps of a brother who was a pretty successful athlete, to say the least. And if there was one person who knew the tension and stress I was under, it was Coach Murphy. His intuition into what I was feeling was right on. And when he told me it was okay to fail, I almost laughed out loud. His words, wisdom, and over-aggressive handshakes and pats on the back, at the moment, helped me realize that failure is not necessarily a terrible thing. From failure, you get perseverance, hard work, determination, and lessons learned that will make you more successful down the road. Oddly enough, this speech will center around failure, and you may be thinking, out of everything I could talk about today, why failure? The thing is, everyone fails at some point or another. It's how you deal with it that makes you the person you are today. The 30 SUMA graduates of the class of 2008 did not get to where they are right now without failing at something first. The girls' basketball team didn't recently get to the district and regional finals without going through some trials and tribulations first. However, they are where they're at right now because of their uncanny determination to learn from past mistakes. As part of the Navy football team, the past 4 years we have taken home the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. However, if you take it back before then, you will find very few, maybe none, and very few wins for that matter. It was the attitude that we were going to win no matter what it took to get us to where we are today. And as a player, and this goes for whoever's going away on scholarships as well to play any athletics, there is never a moment where your spot is guaranteed. Injury and other circumstances have moved me up and down the depth chart on a roller coaster ride I can't even explain. But hard work, perseverance, and a positive attitude have put me in the place that I am today. The moment that I entered into Plebe Summer, which is a boot camp that all the freshmen go through that lasts about 8 weeks, I was faced with failure day in and day out. The second I walked into Alumni Hall, where we all were processed, the first thing the upper class detailer said to me was, "Plebe, the first words out of your mouth will be sir or ma'am, and the last words out of your mouth will be sir or ma'am. Do you understand?" And still in civilian mode, I just walked in the door. I just shook my head and said, "Yeah." He looked back at me and asked again if I understood. When instead of just him there I was surrounded by 4 guys screaming in my ear, repeatedly asked me the same question if I understood. And finally intuition kicked in and I said, "Sir, yes sir." But to tell you the truth, I wanted to turn around and walk right back out the doors, thinking that this just wasn't for me. But something inside of me kept me going, determined to finish Plebe Summer, seeing that I was only 5 minutes into it. Although saying goodbye to my family is probably the hardest thing I ever had to do, knowing I would only see them every few months, probably more than that, I made it through with perseverance and work ethic, driving away. I'm sure a lot of you seniors sitting here today feel that you have to follow in the footsteps of someone ahead of you. Or maybe you feel the pressure that you have to succeed at all costs. I'm telling you now that it's okay if you have a failure, because in that failure you will learn. As you head into your future, take that failure as your challenge. Whether you want to go to college, or whether you head into the work arena, or whether you go into the military, challenge yourself to learn from your failures. Remember, if you fail, it's okay, because what you learn out of it will make you a better person than you were before. Thank you to all the teachers, administrators, coaches, and support personnel. Thank you to my fellow classmates. And most importantly, thank you to my parents for allowing me to fail, because in that I became a better person. Here's to the senior class of 2008. You will rise to be the best. You will head off to challenge your minds in college or at work. And know that through your education at Chippewa Valley High School, they have prepared you for the world. And look out, world, here comes the class of 2008.